The 10 cleanest cities in the world. Japan ranks only 10th. Switzerland ranks 3rd. The first place is known as Earth's Purifier, dominating the top spot for 8 consecutive years. Many people may not know that globally, over 2.4 billion tons of urban waste is produced annually, enough to build 30 Great Walls of China. The Great Pacific Garbage Patch, one of the world's largest waste dumps, covers an astonishing 1.6 million square kilometers, 3 times larger than France's national area. Humanity is now being consumed by the consumer civilization we created. According to United Nations Environment Program data, only 16% of global waste is scientifically processed. The annual death toll from pollution has exceeded 9 million people, surpassing the combined total of wars and natural disasters. Yet in this silent ecological battle, there are special cities that stand at the opposite end of global pollution, becoming champions of environmental health. In today's video, Earth Top 10 will take you to explore the 10 cleanest green cities in the world. Number 10. Tokyo. As one of the world's most densely populated cities, Tokyo, a megacity with over 41 million inhabitants, maintains streets so clean that even construction sites seem invisible. Near vending machines along sidewalks, you can't find even a scrap of paper in the crevices at their base. In the latest 2025 Global City Rankings, Tokyo's cleanliness score far exceeds international metropolises like New York and Paris. The dust accumulation per square meter of road is strictly controlled to under 30 grams, comparable to 5-star hotel carpet standards. Tokyo's immaculate condition is no coincidence. Every morning, the sound of water trucks and street sweepers breaks the silence. Mechanical arms move at 3.1 miles per hour, hugging the road surface across every street, completing 3 rounds of deep cleaning within 8 hours. Even weeds and crevices are precisely eliminated by high-pressure water jets. Even more impressive is the self-discipline of residents. Public trash cans are rarely seen throughout the city, yet people take their beverage bottles home to wash and sort them. Even a small piece of gum wrapper is stored in a dedicated collection bag. In Japan, waste sorting is a mandatory subject in elementary school textbooks. Incorrect disposal can result in fines of up to 300,000 yen, approximately $2,307. This near-obsessive cleanliness culture has helped Tokyo achieve an amazing 80% recycling rate, 2.5 times higher than Beijing's. In fact, during the economic boom of the 1960s, Tokyo was once shrouded in industrial exhaust with garbage floating in dark rivers. PM2.5 concentration once exceeded 100 micrograms per cubic meter. However, after a 20-year environmental revolution, Tokyo's air quality index now consistently remains between 35 to 50. The latest sanitation plan from January 2025 shows that municipal departments have introduced AI monitoring systems that can locate road oil stains within 20 seconds and dispatch cleaning vehicles, ensuring coffee spills from the morning rush hour disappear before office workers arrive. Walking through Tokyo reveals attention to detail that demonstrates practicality. Subway handrails shine with a metallic luster clear enough to reflect one's image. Convenience store checkout counters are equipped with hand sanitizer as standard. Even construction site barriers feature automatic sprinkler systems to control dust. This cleanliness belief, embraced by all citizens, ensures that Shinjuku's Kabukicho district, home to 5,000 restaurants, has streets that remain odorless even after closing in the late night. As noted in the 2025 Global City Evaluation Report, Tokyo proves that megacities can balance prosperity and efficiency with just 0.03 square meters of park green space per person, a 98% accuracy rate in waste sorting, and a convenience store network accessible within a 15-minute walk. Number 9. Adelaide. When people think of Australia's bustling metropolises, what often comes to mind are the silhouettes of the Sydney Opera House against a backdrop of busy streets, or the scenes of Melbourne streets where the aroma of coffee mingles with the sound of tram bells. Yet, in the southern part of this continent, there lies a city gently embraced by vineyards and coastlines, Adelaide. This city, with a population of 1,418,000, achieved an astonishing 85% waste recycling rate as early as 2023. But its ambition extends far beyond this. By 2025, Adelaide will become the world's first zero-carbon city. The cleanliness of this city is no coincidence. Walking along North Terrace, you'll discover that every bus stop is equipped with solar charging stations. Buildings on both sides of the streets are covered with vertical greenery, and even the roof of the historic Central Market is covered with 800-kilowatt solar panels. Data shows that by the end of 2024, Adelaide had installed a total of 23.6 megawatts of distributed photovoltaic systems, equivalent to providing continuous power to 12,000 households. Even more revolutionary is how the local government has combined building renovation with financial innovation, launching a building upgrade financing program that allows old office buildings to repay renovation loans through energy savings from efficiency improvements. This policy alone has reduced carbon emissions from commercial buildings by 41% over 10 years. In the transportation sector, a network of 49 smart charging stations makes charging electric vehicles easier than finding parking spaces. Municipal parking lots even offer free parking incentives for charging vehicles. In 2024, the world's first solar-powered bus lane was put into operation, with flexible photovoltaic films on the vehicle canopies providing 30% of the operating power. Combined with Tesla's 100-megawatt super battery storage system, this has completely eliminated the black smoke and noise of traditional buses. These measures have shown significant results. Although the city's GDP has grown by 33% over 10 years, transportation carbon emissions have successfully decreased by 19%, achieving a divergence between economic development and pollution emissions. Adelaide's cleanliness stems more from ecological consciousness with full public participation. Smart waste sorting stations in each community can identify incorrect disposal through AI and promptly remind residents. Supermarkets have completely banned disposable plastic bags, replacing them with biodegradable packaging made from algae extracts. Even the city's drainage system conceals ingenuity. The Sponge City project spread throughout the underground allows 90% of rainwater to directly replenish groundwater after being filtered through plant root systems. Today, this dedication to taking no shortcuts is gaining international recognition. In The Economist's Global Relocation City selection, Adelaide has consistently ranked in the top 3 for 3 consecutive years, with an environmental score reaching an astonishing 98.7. Number 8. Singapore. Singapore's cleanliness magic activates from the moment you enter the country. Under the glass dome of Changi Airport, tropical plants grow freely beside artificial waterfalls. The floor gleams like a mirror, and even the trash bins are designed as works of art that blend seamlessly with the landscape. This pristine condition is no coincidence. In the city center, a uniformed cleaner works silently every 300 yards. The national cleaning workforce of 60,000 people means there is one environmental guardian for every 83 residents, a ratio second only to Qatar globally. They operate like precision instruments, beginning their sweeping at 4 in the morning, ensuring that each fallen leaf remains on the ground for no more than 20 minutes. Even the spice markets maintain the remarkable feat of being fragrant without garbage accumulation. However, the real secret weapon lies in the legal provisions. Litter bugs may face fines of up to 2,000 Singapore dollars, approximately 1,538 US dollars, equivalent to half a month's salary for an average white-collar worker. Even more stringent is the collective responsibility system. If someone throws a cigarette but from a high-rise building, all residents of the building may be investigated. This deterrent effect makes even foreign tourists consciously follow local customs. The government's shame-based enforcement is even more effective. Photos of litterers are published in the newspaper's litter bug column, a humiliation far more powerful than the fine itself. But laws are ultimately external forces. What truly keeps Singapore consistently clean is the environmental protection gene deeply embedded in society. Kindergartners learn about the life cycle of garbage. Middle school students participate in community cleaning practices, and even the garbage sorting bins in heritage districts are marked with cute cartoon images. The results of this education are astonishing. Data from 2024 shows that Singaporeans generate only 0.86 kilograms of garbage per person daily, 15% lower than Tokyo. Supermarket plastic bag usage plummeted by 78% after the implementation of charging policies. Even more impressive is their waste-to-resource wisdom. The Semakau landfill island compresses non-recyclable waste with sea sand layer by layer, creating an ecological park the size of 12 football fields on the sea. Mangroves grow tenaciously on top of the garbage, becoming a global environmental wonder. Of course, this cleanliness miracle has its cracks. Locals privately complain that tourist areas are as polished as movie sets, while the areas beneath their apartments are often piled with takeout boxes in the early morning. Data shows that residential areas generate 3 times more garbage than tourist areas, and Semakau Island may be filled by 2035. To address this, the government is implementing more radical measures. Starting in 2025, all supermarkets will ban disposable plastic bags. Restaurants must provide biodegradable food containers, and there are even plans to use artificial intelligence cameras to automatically capture images of litter bugs. These measures are supported by a 5 billion Singapore dollar future energy fund, with even casino tax revenue being invested in garbage processing technology innovation. Number 7, Auckland. Imagine a metropolitan city with a population of 1,798,000, where you can hardly see any carelessly discarded trash on the streets. The air quality consistently exceeds World Health Organization standards, and some people describe breathing Auckland's air as like taking a stroll through a forest. This is not a utopian fantasy, but the true portrait of Auckland, New Zealand. According to the latest research in the Journal of Atmospheric Environment, from 2006 to 2016, the annual average reduction rates of PM 2.5, carbon monoxide, nitrogen dioxide, and sulfur dioxide concentrations at Auckland's 4 monitoring points reached 2.8%, 3.5%, 2.1%, and 4.3% respectively. This achievement is attributed to strict pollution source control. For example, despite the growth in the number of motor vehicles, through the promotion of low-emission fuels and improved engine technology, the contribution of traffic emissions to PM 2.5 decreased by 18% over 10 years. Winter home heating was once the peak period for biomass burning pollution, but with the popularization of clean energy equipment such as heat pumps, related emissions have been effectively suppressed. As of 2024, Auckland's annual average PM 2.5 concentration has stabilized at around 15 micrograms per cubic meter, far lower than the average level of 29.3 micrograms per cubic meter in Chinese prefecture-level cities in the same year, and even lower than Helsinki, a Nordic city known for its cleanliness. The city's level of cleanliness is also inseparable from its innovative waste management model. Auckland's North Shore and Papakura areas have fully implemented a new policy linking garbage disposal fees with property taxes, replacing the cumbersome process where residents previously had to purchase prepaid garbage tags separately. This reform not only reduced management costs, but also encouraged residents to reduce waste generation through economic leverage. According to statistics, household waste disposal in the pilot areas decreased by 23% 3 months after the implementation of the new policy. The city government has also invested in building 12 intelligent sorting recycling stations, increasing the recyclable utilization rate to 67%, with the goal of completely eliminating landfill waste by 2030. However, the city's cleanliness is not absolutely homogeneous. Deeper cleanliness also permeates the capillaries of urban operations. Auckland Port is the world's first port to achieve full shore power coverage for ships, requiring berthing vessels to use clean energy. This measure alone reduces sulfur oxide emissions by 380 tons annually. 98% of buses in the city center have completed electrification, and the charging pile network density has reached 5.6 per square kilometer, ranking first in the Southern Hemisphere. Even sea salt aerosols, a natural source of pollution, have seen their concentration decrease by 11% over 10 years due to wind direction adjustments caused by climate change. Citizens' environmental awareness has become an invisible cleaner. A 2024 survey showed that 83% of Auckland households voluntarily participate in weekend community cleanups. 76% of merchants use biodegradable packaging, and even elementary school students learn how to process kitchen waste using worm towers in the classroom. Number 6. Geneva. Many people have heard of this place, perhaps because of the Geneva Conventions. This second-largest city in Switzerland carries a population of about 200,000 permanent residents within an area of less than 6 square miles, resulting in a population density of 13,000 people per square mile. Despite such high urban density, it has long been renowned worldwide for its immaculately clean image. As early as the 19th century, Geneva established an urban landscaping team. Everything from green planning to the placement of street sculptures has been scientifically designed. Waste sorting has become deeply integrated into daily life here. Citizens need to separate their garbage into 7 major categories: daily waste, waste paper, glass bottles, waste oil, batteries, household appliances, etc., and dispose of them at different recycling points. Taking glass products as an example, this single category is further divided into 3 specialized recycling bins for transparent, green, and brown glass. Strict regulations are coupled with substantial fines. Carelessly discarding old furniture could result in a penalty of up to 300 Swiss francs, approximately $326. The sustainability of urban cleanliness is further reflected in the respect for people. Here, sanitation workers are known as city beauticians, with salaries reaching the local middle-income level. Their work method has upgraded from pure physical labor to 90% mechanized operations. Positions previously mainly held by foreign workers now attract many local Swiss people. During the annual autumn cleaning day, thousands of people voluntarily take to the streets, using tongs to pick up cigarette butts in corners, and even diving into Lake Geneva to retrieve underwater garbage. This action doesn't just remain on the surface, but deepens awareness through open days at waste treatment plants. Citizens can witness firsthand how processed waste is converted into biogas for electricity generation and how treated waste plastics become park benches. The government also continuously promotes environmental knowledge through public transit advertisements and household brochures, turning every resident into an environmental supervisor. In terms of energy structure, Geneva likewise practices clean concepts. 30% of the city's electricity comes from 3 hydroelectric stations on the Rhone River, 13% from waste incineration power generation, and the remaining 57% is entirely purchased from renewable sources such as wind and solar energy, completely abandoning nuclear and fossil energy. This energy strategy forms a closed loop with urban management. Clean energy supports city operations, while waste generated from urban activities feeds back into the energy system. As the European headquarters of the United Nations, Geneva's cleanliness has already transcended the urban scope to become a symbol of global, sustainable development. Number 5. Oslo. Oslo, this Nordic city embraced by fjords, plans to reduce its greenhouse gas emissions to 5 to 10% of the 1990 levels by 2030, becoming the world's first major metropolis to achieve zero emissions. Supporting this goal is Norway's capital's impressive 74% electrification rate for new vehicles. In April 2023, 93.1% of new car sales nationwide were either pure electric or plug-in hybrid models. The land is dotted with the world's densest network of charging stations per square mile. While the world is still discussing timetables for phasing out gasoline vehicles, Oslo has already transformed electric vehicles from a policy experiment into a way of life. Walking through Oslo's streets, the most immediate sensation is quietness. The roar of traditional fuel vehicles has been replaced by the hum of electric motors. On bus lanes, private cars bearing 100% electric labels can often be seen moving freely. This privilege stems from Norway's unique policy design. Electric vehicles are not only exempt from the 25% value-added tax and registration tax, but also enjoy 15 exclusive benefits, including free charging stations, toll exemptions, and priority use of bus lanes. In stark contrast, fuel vehicles are subject to purchase taxes amounting to 50 to 100% of the vehicle price, and about 65% of the price per gallon of gasoline consists of environmental taxes. It is precisely this carrot-and-stick strategy that has kept Norway's per capita electric vehicle ownership at the top of the global rankings for 6 consecutive years. The comprehensive renovation of the public transportation system demonstrates even greater determination. Of the city's more than 700 buses, 80% have already been converted to electric or biofuel power, with the remaining vehicles to be completely phased out by 2028. All 54 crisscrossing tram lines are powered by hydroelectricity, reducing carbon dioxide emissions annually by an amount equivalent to the annual emissions of 12,000 fuel vehicles. This green transformation has not sacrificed convenience. In downtown Oslo, 85% of residents can reach public transportation stops within a 5-minute walk. The dense charging network allows electric buses to travel more than 186 miles daily on average, completely breaking the fixed notion that electric vehicles are only suitable for short distances. Supporting this energy revolution is Norway's uniquely advantageous natural resources. As Europe's largest hydroelectric producer, 98% of the country's electricity comes from more than 2,000 hydroelectric stations. The southeastern power grid, where Oslo is located, has completely achieved zero fossil fuel power generation. This clean electricity not only drives urban transportation, but also penetrates the building sector. Landmark buildings, such as the City Hall and Opera House, use geothermal heat pump systems, reducing winter heating energy consumption by 40%. New residential buildings are mandated to install solar panels, and the excess electricity generated can be directly fed into the city grid. Even waste treatment plants have become energy bases. Biogas converted from waste provides electricity to 3,000 households annually, while waste plastics are made into benches for bus stops. It can be said that green has permeated every corner of this city. Number 4. Helsinki. Helsinki, this city known as the daughter of the Baltic Sea, consistently ranks among the world's cleanest capitals. Its air quality index is as low as 20, far below the World Health Organization's recommended safe standard of 50. About 40% of the land here is covered by parks, forests, and natural waters, with green space per capita reaching 23,000 square feet. Each breath feels as fresh as if it has been filtered through a forest. Even more astonishing is that Helsinki's tap water is drawn directly from protected aquifers, with water quality so pure that it requires no filtering before drinking. Even bottled water companies struggle to establish a foothold here. As early as the 1990s, Finland took the lead in promoting digital banking, laying the foundation for sustainable urban development. Today, the public transportation system here relies almost entirely on renewable energy, with even buses powered by biofuel converted from kitchen waste. The compact urban design makes walking and cycling mainstream, with nearly half of the citizens commuting entirely on foot or by bicycle. The streets are almost free from jarring honking sounds. In the new Kalasatama district, the orientation of skyscrapers has been optimized based on sunlight and airflow data, ensuring sunlight intake during the polar night period while cleverly utilizing wind power. Smart waste stations in residential buildings transport sorted waste directly to processing plants at speeds of 43 miles per hour through vacuum pipes, completely eliminating garbage truck noise and odors from communities. This exquisite balance between technology and nature placed Helsinki second globally in the IMD Smart City Index by the Swiss Institute for Management Development in 2020. The cleanliness code of this city is also hidden in the details. During the annual snowmelting season, more than 20,000 citizens voluntarily participate in the spring cleanup. The government provides tools for free and coordinates waste removal, transforming scattered environmental actions into a citywide movement. On the digital platform Smart Kalasatama, residents can track community environmental data in real time and even vote on waste station locations. One community, through collective decision-making, converted a planned waste station into a children's playground. Even maritime enthusiasts have their dedicated Audi app, which not only provides weather and ocean current information, but also allows for the rental of idle berths, letting the sharing economy permeate into the waves of the Baltic Sea. This all-citizen stewardship model has pushed Helsinki's household waste recycling rate beyond 50%, with 100% of biological waste converted into energy, completely eliminating the need for landfills. In the South Harbor Market Square in the city center, the open-air market built in the 19th century still prohibits the use of plastic bags. Fish vendors wrap salmon in moistened newspaper, a tradition that has become an ecological ritual eagerly experienced by tourists. In Sibelius Park, a giant musical sculpture composed of 600 steel pipes is allowed to weather naturally because citizens believe that copper and aluminum are closer to natural colors than paint. Even the city landmark, the Rock Church, adheres to the concept of spiritual simplicity. Water seeping through the standing rock walls is cleverly channeled into the underground water system, maintaining both the original aesthetic and enhancing the acoustic effect. This reverence for the natural state has kept Helsinki at the forefront of the Global Destination Sustainability Index, making it the only city to simultaneously rank among both the cleanest and most design-conscious lists. Number 3. Zurich. At the foot of the Alps in northern Switzerland lies a city with a population of only 415,000, yet renowned worldwide for its economic strength, with a GDP per capita exceeding 58,000 Swiss francs, approximately $64,173. This is Zurich, Switzerland's largest city. Not only is it home to more than 120 banks, but it also exemplifies an extraordinary world with its low-density living environment of 222.61 people per square kilometer and air quality with an annual PM 2.5 average below 10 micrograms per cubic meter. Walking through Zurich streets, one can hardly see a single piece of paper on the cobblestone paths. This almost obsessive neatness stems from a municipal management system that began in the 19th century. The city invests approximately 400 million Swiss francs, about $440 million annually in environmental maintenance, equivalent to 1,000 Swiss francs contributed by each citizen. Even more astonishing is the citizens' conscientiousness. 90% of households participate in waste sorting, and the fine for carelessly discarding trash on the street is as high as 300 Swiss francs, $331, equivalent to a day and a half's wages for an average person. This model of high investment plus strict regulations and full public participation has placed Zurich among the top 3 most livable cities in the world for many consecutive years. The cleanliness of this city doesn't just remain on the surface, but permeates every detail of life. The water quality of Lake Zurich meets direct drinking standards, with the reflections of swans and sailboats clearly visible on the lake surface. Public benches along the lakeside are wiped daily with plant-based cleaners by dedicated staff, and even dust and crevices is carefully removed. As the first European city to achieve 100% electrification of buses, Zurich's tram network transports 650,000 passengers daily, with carbon emissions 40% lower than cities of similar size. Even the glass windows of luxury stores on the busiest Bahnhofstrasse maintain spotless transparency. Merchants use special anti-static coatings to prevent dust adhesion. On the balance between environmental protection and economy, Zurich demonstrates an amazing art of equilibrium. As a global center for gold trading and offshore finance, the daily flow of funds here is in the tens of billions, yet the cleanliness of the financial district's ground rivals that of an operating room. The display cases at the Swiss National Museum use nanotechnology coatings, avoiding pollution from chemical cleaners while allowing century-old artifacts to be seen in perfect detail. Even restaurants serving the local specialty, cheese fondue, are equipped with grease separation systems in their kitchens, ensuring that cooking waste purification rates reach above 98%. The tidiness of this city has become as natural as breathing. Number 2. Calgary. In the western part of the North American continent, where the Rocky Mountains cast their austere shadows, Calgary residents can always find a sunlight-like transparent surprise on the morning streets. Coffee cup lids are precisely thrown into garbage bins 16 feet away. Dog walkers bend down to pick up plastic bottles from piles of fallen leaves, and even homeless people neatly stack empty cans next to recycling stations. This city has completed a silent revolution over 20 years. While major global cities are overwhelmed by garbage sieges, Calgary showcases another side of urban life with its achievement of only 897 pounds of garbage per capita annually. The cleanliness here is never accidental. The City Hall's fines are as precise as surgical scalpels. In 2019, the moment a tourist discarded a cigarette, but in Prince's Island Park, the law enforcement camera captured this action worth $750 Canadian, equivalent to 2 days' salary for an ordinary white-collar worker there. But this deterrent power is more like a Damocles sword hanging in the air. The real magic happens in every resident's backyard. Since the blue plastic bins became widespread in 2009, 98% of households conscientiously sort glass bottles, metal cans, and cardboard boxes into different categories. Even 3-year-old children know that yogurt containers must be rinsed clean before being placed in recycling stations. Municipal workers salvage 230,000 tons of recyclable materials from these blue oceans each year, enough to cover the entire Chinatown area. The innovation of black garbage bins is even more dramatic. The freeze-resistant flip lid design introduced in 2010 has caused the unemployment rate among raccoon families to soar for 3 consecutive years. These little thieves, who once created nightly garbage fireworks shows, can now only stare helplessly at the tightly closed bin lids. Even more ingenious is the debut of green compost bins, which transform kitchen waste into dark brown, fertile soil within 48 hours. Last year's municipal report showed that this waste-to-treasure magic has suddenly reduced landfill pressure by 40%, equivalent to avoiding the excavation of 4 football field-sized deep pits. In early spring, when other cities are still worrying about the mud after snow melts, Calgary street sweepers have already started operating like precision timepieces. These steel giants patrol 15,000 kilometers annually, enough to circle Canada's border twice. Perhaps this is why the city has long defied the iron law that population growth is proportional to garbage volume, halting the march of waste. Number 1. Copenhagen. At the end of the 20th century, Copenhagen's harbor was once a dumping ground for industrial wastewater and sewage. The black, foul-smelling water contained floating mercury, toxic chemicals, and human excrement. Fish had almost disappeared, and citizens avoided this area at all costs. Today, however, it has become the cleanest port in the world. 10 year-round swimming areas attract both locals and tourists. Winter ice swimming enthusiasts plunge into the frigid seawater before rushing to saunas, while summer beaches are so popular that finding a spot is challenging. This transformation from a pollution-restricted zone to a water playground epitomizes Copenhagen's commitment to sustainable development. The change began in the 1990s when the Copenhagen municipal government launched an ambitious plan not only to clean up the port, but also to transform it into a public recreational space for citizens. They first upgraded the outdated sewage system, built underground water storage tanks to handle sewage overflow caused by heavy rainfall, and strictly regulated industrial emissions. This remediation took more than 10 years and cost a considerable amount, but the results were remarkable. In 2001, the port's water quality reached swimmable standards for the first time. Today, the water clarity in the port can reach over 13 feet and consistently maintains the European Union's highest cleanliness rating. In 2019, CNN even named it the world's best swimming port. Cleaning the port was just the first step. Restoring ecological diversity was the real challenge. Today, Copenhagen's harbor has become a paradise for marine life. Cod, salmon, flounder, and even garfish breed here. To protect the endangered European eel, the government placed 800 tons of pebbles on the seabed to provide shelter for young eels. 200 bioreefs, made from discarded oyster shells, are scattered throughout the port, serving as nurseries for fish and helping juvenile fish survive their vulnerable period. The dense seagrass on the seabed not only provides habitat for organisms, but also absorbs carbon dioxide equivalent to the emissions of 3,000 cars annually, becoming a natural weapon against climate change. The port's transformation is inseparable from Copenhagen's overall environmental protection strategy. As early as the 1990s, this city implemented green urban planning. All new buildings must meet strict energy efficiency standards, while old buildings are gradually being converted to low-carbon models. A 248-mile bicycle lane network covers the entire city, with 38% of citizens commuting daily by bicycle. In the city center, this proportion reaches 50%. Even port transportation is environmentally friendly, with electric ferries and solar-powered boats harmoniously coexisting with kayaks, reducing dependence on fossil fuels. From industrial ruins to an ecological model, Copenhagen proves that as long as we persist in coexisting with nature, even the dirtiest corners can be revitalized. That's all for this video. Which of these 10 cleanest cities impressed you the most? Feel free to tell us in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and share it with your friends. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.